Just a little bit
Just
in
a
it,
little.
darling, yes, just to warm it up, that's all.
Just a small slither to begin.
Born 69 years apart, these two unlikely companions have one thing in common.
I think Her Majesty gave us all something to aspire towards.
She always looked calm and collected. She always smiled. You never saw an angry face.
Her Majesty was so beautiful.
And we knew that she loved us.
Yes.
I mean, she used to
yes.
say it. You know, I just love my people, my country.
And that in itself is inspiring.
23-year-old Alexander Volz and 92-year-old Pam Bowman are devoted members of the Australian Monarchist League.
Well, I probably first fell in love with the monarchy around the time I was maybe 13, 14. I grew up reading history, so I read about the Queen from an early age. That was how my love for monarchy grew.
I've loved the monarchy from probably the day I was born, I'd say. We used to sing, in my early days, God Save the King, because King George V was on the throne at the time. And when the Queen ascended the throne, we then sang God Save the Queen. When I was a young girl, I had a bad stammer, and my friends and family used to say to me, "Don't worry, Pam, King George VI also has a stammer, a stutter." So I got over it, and I think he did too.
Pam has seen every monarch since the early 1930s. She believes they taught her generation a sense of etiquette, which has been lost today.
It's a funny expression, but you could say niceness, prestige, dignity, class, courtesy, and that stands out when you see royalty today, and we've lost a lot of that.
Hooligans.
Pam and Alex deplore suggestions the royal family is out of touch and weakened by scandal after scandal.
We are just getting word that Princess Diana has
The
died.
Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning as working
Prince
members.
Andrew trying to weasel his way back into the royal family.
People are complex. They live complex lives. It's just that most people can live the complexities of their lives in private. Royal family doesn't have that luxury. And so, when something bad happens, which is inevitable in any family, it gets played out on the world stage.
Pam is still miffed by that chat Harry and Meghan had with Oprah.
Now, I've never forgiven him, and I will never forgive the both of them for that shocking interview that he did in the United States.
This is the tabloid interpretation of what monarchy is, and diminishing the royal family, the Queen, now the King, to a celebrity status. They're not celebrities.
Queen Elizabeth II.
The worldwide outpouring of grief following the Queen's death suggests otherwise.
Pam, I don't think anyone will forget where they were when they learnt that Elizabeth II
No, I know
passed.
exactly. I was waking up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I heard it on the news. I turned the news on the radio, and I couldn't believe it.
I had a phone call during the night and picked up the phone. It was a fellow from the Monarchist League, and he said, "The Queen is dead, long live the King."
The young monarchist and the old share a common hope for Australia's future under King Charles III.
We have now a sovereign who was an environmentalist before it was cool to be an environmentalist. Charles is a thinker. And look at the great work that the Prince's Trust Australia does.
Yes, he's done so much in the shadow of his mother, and he's worked very hard.
The important thing to remember about the monarchy is it's not a populist system. It's not about the person. It's the crown atop the head that wears it. And that's what makes it particularly magical. It goes beyond politics, it goes beyond ego. And I think people in today's Australia actually really appreciate that. Her Majesty, Queen of Australia,
Cheers.
to her legacy.
Jeez. I want to say with the utmost respect to the Queen and to the monarchy and to monarchists that I think that actually that young man made a real point when he said it's not a populist thing. It's not democratically elected. It's not put in place by the people of this country. And with every bit of respect to Queen Elizabeth and all of the work that she's done over her 70 years of reign, I don't think the monarchy is very relevant to Australia anymore.
Do you think it's possible to be someone that is respectful, adoring of the Queen and her years of service, but also have a different view about the relevance of the monarchy to Australia in the future? Because I guess that's, for many Australians right now, the ideas that they might be juggling.
Oh, totally. I feel like people are taking a very binary sort of stance. It's you're either a monarchist and you only say nice things about the Queen and colonialism and all of that, or you're a Republican and you've got no respect for anybody else. You know, I was raised in a time where I sang God Save the Queen as the national anthem when I was a little girl at school, and we had her picture on the wall. So she's interwoven in my memory and in my history. And this is no doubt a massive historical event. But I'm also an Australian. I believe in the democratic process. I believe that this country's old enough to stand on its own 2 feet and govern itself. And I don't think that I'm going to say interference from a foreign country is actually appropriate anymore.
They're two concepts, though, that aren't really mutually exclusive, is what you're saying.
No, of course not. We don't have to be binary about it. We can say, I respect this, however, I think this might be a better way forward for this young country.